4-1 final time.
Guys, Newcastle United won, Tottenham Hotspur won. So far, Tottenham have not lost a game in preseason. And this particular game, it was given. At a point, I did not know I was watching a friendly game. I thought it was an EPL game, very aggressive, very entertaining. But you know what? After the game, people are not even talking about the performance and how beautiful the game was. Everybody is talking about 1, Heung-Min, 2, Mohammed Kudus, 3, James Madison, and 4, how Newcastle United played in that game. And we are going to talk about all this. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You're watching SportsCornerGH. Quickly, let's jump into it. Now, this particular video is trending. Mohammed Kudus hugging Heung-Min on the touchline, and Heung-Min going to the bench, Mohammed Kudus coming into the game. And a lot of people on social media are asking this question: did Heung-Min pass the torch to Mohammed Kudus?
An emotional goodbye for Heung-Min. A true Tottenham Hotspur legend. 4-1 final time.
Did he pass the torch to Mohammed Kudus? I won't be surprised if this theory is true, because Mohammed Kudus is now the star boy of Tottenham Hotspur. And if one legend is leaving, he's leaving the torch to another player who can carry it on. And Mohammed Kudus is that guy. Now, Tottenham Hotspur fans on social media believe that Mohammed Kudus should put down jersey number 20 and go in for Heung-Min's jersey number 7. Now, in my previous video, I stated that the player is going to leave the club. There is a conversation between Heung-Min, Tottenham Hotspur, and also a club in the MLS, LAFC, who are interested in signing Heung-Min. Now, he did the send-off in a very spectacular way in front of more than 60,000, Koreans. And it was nice. It was very emotional. It took like 3 minutes for the send-off to be complete. All the players on the pitch had to halt the game, hug, Heung-Min. So it was very emotional. He was crying. But then the climax of that whole thing was the point where he had Mohammed Kudus on the touchline. And then he went to the bench and Mohammed Kudus came into the game. The whole Tottenham fan base, everybody is saying this: did Heung-Min pass the torch to Mohammed Kudus? I believe my answer is going to be yes. Heung-Min has done a lot for Tottenham Hotspur. He's a legend, won the Europa League with them last season. I think he just handed Mohammed Kudus the keys to Tottenham Hotspur. I believe that. But when it comes to the jersey number, I'm going to say this: Mohammed Kudus, he should maintain his jersey number 20. He wore that at Ajax. He wore that when he's in the national team here in Ghana. And I believe he still wants to wear that jersey number 20 because it holds significant value to him. But as for the jersey number, I'm going to say no. But then when it comes to passing on the touch, I'm going to say a year to that. But then it was a very emotional one. Seeing Heung-Min saying goodbye to Tottenham Hotspur, the fans all in Korea, over 60,000 fans in the stadium. Now let's move away from that and talk about the moment Mohammed Kudus came into the game.
Over the top, Kudus onside. Livramento's tracked him all the way here. And he's done brilliantly.
When he came into the game, in the second half, Newcastle were already dictating the pace. They were the one pressing, they were the one creating the chances. They were very strong in the game. But one thing I noticed in the second half was the game became more physical. It became really, really physical. So 1, 2, 3, there is a whistle here, there is a foul there, the game is stopped. So there was too many breakages in the game. That really did not let us see what Mohammed Kudus would do in the game. But when he came, he did something small, something little, that even that alone echoed a lot into, the ears, the minds, and also the eyes of Tottenham Hotspur fans. They saw that and they were like, Kudus is a bad guy. Because how he did that makes no sense. The dribbling, the technique, the talent is there. So when they saw just that glimpse of what he could do, they were like, okay, it looks like we have a very good player on our hand. And honestly, Kudus couldn't do too much. The game was more about Heung-Min and the Korean players who play in both Newcastle United and also Tottenham Hotspur. Those players were actually giving it their all because they were playing in front of their home fans. But Kudus, he's just chilling. He did what he had to do. Yesterday was his birthday, so I think he's still in the birthday mood. But the whole conversation about him and Heung-Min Son still holds. So, guys, that is it with Mohammed Kudus when he came into the game. He did not do too much because there were too many substitutions. There was an injury with James Maddison that took a very long period in the game. There were too many fouls that were breaking the game so many times. So, we did not really get to see the game flow after Heung-Min Son left the pitch. But speaking about injuries, James Madison got injured in that game, a very nasty one, a very bad one. Even the coach after the game says that the injury looks very bad. But James Madison is Tottenham Hotspur's number 10. Now, there is this whole conversation on social media between Tottenham fans and also between neutrals. Now, this is what they are saying. Now, Tottenham fans believe that since James Maddison is injured again, they need a new number 10. Neutrals, which consist of Ghanaians and also other against supporters union, they believe that Mohammed Kudus should go and play the number 10 because Mohammed Kudus is versatile like that. If Mohammed Kudus can shift into the number 10 role, then you can see Brennan Johnson go to the right wing, Odubert play the left wing, and the team does not really shake up a bit, not bringing in too many players. That is what the neutrals believe. But Tottenham Hotspur fans also believe that the team needs a new number 10, looking at the injury to Madison. You don't want to start the season, but we want to start on a very strong note because it would be very important at a point in the season. So this is what Tottenham Hotspur fans are saying. They need a backup. They need squad depth because Madison injured is not a good thing because you're going to compete in the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, the UCL, the EPO. You need squad depth. So I'm going to go with Tottenham Hotspur fans. Tottenham needs a left back. They also need a number 10. And I also believe that they need a midfielder, which I know Palhinha is coming in. So it is very good. But then they need to, fix some of the problems because this particular game really exposed them. It really exposed them because when they're playing against a team that likes to possess, they might really suffer. But guys, these are some of the things that happened after the game when Madison, got injured. A lot of people are putting Mohammed Kudus in the conversation to play that number 10 role. Do you think it's the right move? Do you think it's the right idea? We all know he's very versatile. I'm not going to lie, he's very versatile. But then, do you think it's the right idea to bring him in and not sign a number 10, which I believe is a bad idea? And let me hear from you down below in the comments. Now, let's talk about Newcastle United. Newcastle United really played in that game really well. I feel like Newcastle United are going to be a strong force to reckon with come next season. They played very well. They handled the ball very well. The game was more exciting in the first half when these two scored all their goals because, that goal that was scored by Barnes, it was an excellent goal. Also, Brennan Johnson scored an excellent goal in the 4th minute, which was just amazing. And afterwards, he did the Heung-Min Son goal celebration as if he was taking a picture. That was just so nice. But guys, I'm not going to lie. Newcastle United is a force to reckon with. I think so far watching Tottenham Hotspur play in pre-season, this is one team that have really stressed them. This is one team that have really exposed their weakness. And I'm looking at Newcastle United, even this is not their full strength. Imagine what they will do when the season starts, when the season kicks in. Even without Isak, imagine what they can do because this team looks okay. They're playing okay. Anthony Gordon was playing that centre-forward role and he played it okay, in my own opinion. He even scored a goal that was ruled offside. You get my point. I think Newcastle United did pretty well in that game. But all in all, it was a good game. But the biggest highlight of the game was when Heung-Min Son was leaving the pitch and the moment he hugged Mohammed Kudus, and it's sparking a huge conversation on social media. But then I just want to throw this question to you before I end today's video. Do you think Heung-Min Son passed the torch to Mohammed Kudus? Do you think Mohammed Kudus is now the face of Tottenham Hotspur? Let me know your answers down below in the comments. Thanks for joining me. My name is Adam. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we will vibe.